Hi, it's AJ, and it's time for the last step. Step number 7. Of course, I told you at the beginning, there are 7 essential steps for change and leadership, and this is the last step. This is the one that kind of cements the change. It makes the change permanent, long-lasting, so that it becomes a part of your life and not just something that you do and then it goes away again. Right? A lot of people experience this where you make some big change in your life and maybe you even keep that change for a week or 2 weeks or something like that, and then it just sort of goes away and you go back to the old behavior again. It's really common. It's common, for example, with health. I used to do this all the time with eating sugar. Right? I was kind of a sugar addict, and I would break it for a while, which is one of our steps, right? I would do a pretty good job of breaking it, but then I would find myself slowly but surely going back to eating sugar. And then, a couple months later, I'm right back to eating lots of sugar again, or sugary stuff. It was terrible. So this last step is what really makes you make that positive change, and then you got to make it strong so it's just part of you. So step number 7 is condition it. Condition it. Now, conditioning, or to condition, it has lots of different meanings, but in this case, we're using the meaning from psychology. And when we condition a belief or condition a behavior, it means we reinforce it. We make it stronger and stronger and stronger until it becomes automatic. So, for example, a very simple example, let's say from dog training, is you want your dog to sit, right? So the most effective way to make your dog sit, to teach your dog to sit, is you say the word sit, and the dog looks at you and doesn't know what the hell you're saying, because the dog doesn't speak your language. So after you say the word sit, you kind of put your hand on their butt and you kind of push it down, and you kind of raise up their other part, and you kind of push them into the sitting position. And then as soon as they are in that sitting position, you go crazy with love and attention. You're like, good dog, oh, and you pet them and you say, good dog, good dog, good dog, and you have a big smile and your voice is really high like this, and the dog kind of, gets all excited. And in the beginning, the dog's not quite sure what's happening, but the dog knows that it's good, right? And so then your dog kind of stands up again. And then after they stand up, again, you look at them and you say it the same way, and you say, sit. And then you, again, take your hand, you gently put them into the sitting position, and as soon as they reach the sitting position, you go crazy and you have a big celebration. Oh, good dog, oh, great, 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 great. I taught my dog to do this. I used to have a German Shepherd Chow mix, and this is how I taught her to sit and to stay and all this other great stuff. And she was really smart, but this is how I did it. It was just through conditioning, positive conditioning. Right? Some people have the idea of like you spank the dog if it doesn't sit, and that's crazy. It doesn't work. But the way to make a behavior really stick and become permanent, to make a change become permanent, is you gotta reinforce it. You have to condition it, and positive conditioning is the best. So everyone knows this. If you've taken any kind of psychology course, you've heard about this. Now the problem is people forget the other 6 steps. Right? So if you just try this step, then what happens is that you have this new thing you're trying to condition. You're trying to reward yourself for doing something new. But then it's also battling the old one. And the problem is the old one usually wins because the old one has years and years and years of conditioning. You've already had many, many, many years of pleasure and other good things attached to that behavior. For example, my sugar eating. Well, I'd had years and years and years of enjoying sugary desserts and foods. So just trying to make myself eat broccoli and then being happy about it, it only worked for a short time. But if you do the first 6 steps first, then you've got the new behavior, and then you got to just condition it and you're set. It's going to work and you're going to do it the rest of your life. So what's the simplest way? Again, with conditioning, with reinforcing, there's so many techniques that I can teach you about this. I'm just going to teach you the most basic, simple one. And in some of our other programs, I teach more advanced things. And that goes for all of the steps. And in this series, I've taught you kind of really basic things for each one. And then in our membership program, of course, we teach many, many, many more techniques that are more advanced, more powerful, and a little more complicated. So anyway, let's stick to the basic and the simple. So the basic idea is positive reinforcement. All that means is you're basically rewarding yourself for the new behavior that you created. And what's the best way to reward yourself? Well, the most simple way possible is just to make yourself happy. And the way to do that is just to celebrate. You just celebrate, yay! And you act stupid again. I already told you to slap yourself in one of the steps, and now I'm going to tell you to do more crazy stuff. Now I'm going to tell you to do something really crazy and happy, which is to just jump around like a crazy person, throwing your hands in the air and celebrating. Again, you can do this by yourself. But what you're going to do is every single time you do the new behavior, you do the thing that you want to do. If it's English, then every time you listen to English, let's say you've put in your iPod and you listen. Immediately after you finish, you're going to celebrate. You're going to go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you're going to say really nice things to yourself. You're going to say, I'm great. I rock. I'm fantastic. And you're going to kind of go on this tirade. A tirade means it's like you just talk and talk and talk without thinking. But it's a positive tirade. People can do this in a negative way, like an angry tirade. They just say, God damn shit, fuck, and they say all these terrible things really fast. Well, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to do a really positive tirade about yourself. I'm great, I'm fantastic, I'm amazing, man, I'm so smart, I am awesome. And then you're going to jump around, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, it's crazy, so you can do it by yourself if you want. But this is actually super powerful and super important because you're teaching your brain, you're programming your brain to like this behavior. And another important part of this is you have to do it every time, and you do it even if you only do the behavior a little bit. Okay? So you don't make yourself study 2 hours and then celebrate. Yay, I studied 2 hours. No, I mean if you just study for 5 minutes and then you stop. Some people will say, oh, it was only 5 minutes, and then they kind of punish themselves. They say, oh, God, I only studied 5 minutes. I only studied 20 minutes. And right, what they're doing is creating a lot of negative feelings and emotions. Those negative feelings and emotions are being attached to the behavior. So then you start to feel bad about studying. It's the exact opposite of what you want to do. So even if you only study 1 minute, you listen to 1 minute of English and then you quit, immediately celebrate. Yes, yes, I'm great, fantastic, look at this. I'm a great student, I just listened to English for a minute. I rock, I'm great. Of course, I rock means that I'm fantastic, it's slang. So you got to celebrate every time, even if you only do this new behavior a little bit. Even if you only do the change a tiny little bit. It doesn't matter. Let me give you a short example from my own life. When I go running, right, I wanted to start running again. I ran a couple marathons many years ago, and I wanted to get back into running and start running marathons again. Well, in the past when I would try to get back into running, I had all these ideas about, you know, marathon running, I'm training for a marathon. So if I only ran 3 miles, I would kind of get upset with myself. Oh man, I only ran 3 miles, that sucks. I used to run 20 miles, right? So what I'm doing, I'm attaching all these negative feelings to the behavior that I want, which is running. And soon I just would eventually stop running. Well, what I've done more recently is the exact opposite. Now I celebrate after every run. Even if I'm tired and I do a short run, I only run for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, just 3 miles. It doesn't matter. If I run for, 10 miles, it doesn't matter either way. At the end, I do this little celebration thing, and usually I try to make sure nobody's around looking at me. But I just do the little fist pump, that little Tiger Woods thing. I'll go, yeah, yeah, and I'll kind of jump around a little bit, yeah, yeah, and I'll just celebrate like I just kicked ass, I just did a great job, I went for a run, good job. And so this funny little thing, this little psychological trick, it just it changes something in my mind. It conditions my mind to think, and what's happening unconsciously is my mind thinks, running equals pleasure, running equals happy, running equals celebration, running equals good. That's what the programming is that's happening kind of, unconsciously, sort of deep inside your brain. It's simple, but it's powerful, especially when you use it with all the other 6 steps first. And then the final thing is, you do your little behavior, just a little, even if you do it for 1 minute, 5 minutes, and then immediately you celebrate. The final thing is just a few little tips to make this more powerful. The more emotion you use, the more effective this is. So if you celebrate a little bit, yay, yay, that was good, good job. Well, then you'll get a small reinforcement, and the effect will be just a little bit. It won't be very powerful. It'll be positive, but just a little positive. If you use a lot of emotion, like, yeah, 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 wow, I rock, and you're just totally crazy about it, you pump your fist and you jump up and down and you scream and you really let yourself feel like strong feelings of happiness and celebration, that will create much stronger conditioning, much stronger reinforcement, which means the change will go deeper and be more permanent, and your improvement will be much faster. Okay, so more emotion equals better results. And that's it. That is step 7. I'll send you one more video just to kind of sum up, a conclusion video to review all of the 7 steps and to encourage you as you start to use them in your own life. You can start, of course, by using them to improve your English, but I hope you'll use them to make improvements in all areas of your life. Okay, so I'll see you for the next and final video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.